Hello guys and welcome back to episode 3 of our EAFC 26 career mode here with Burnley. We are back today and we're going to really pick up the pace of today's episode and crack on with lots of games as I ideally want to get through to the end of November. We've got a tricky game to start off with as we travel to Unai Emery's Aston Villa, who currently find themselves undefeated in their opening 6 games and sat 4th in the table. So with us now just a point above the relegation zone and off the back of back-to-back defeats to Nottingham Forest and City, I'm expecting this to be a really tough game to kick off the episode. Come on, you Clarets. Watkins finds Onana lifted forward. Sancho's header, how has that gone in? I think it might be Watkins actually. It's Ollie Watkins, but how on earth has he managed to get the dip on that? And I said I thought it'd be a tough game today, and that is the worst possible start. Well, other than the goal, there's not really been a huge amount to report on so far as Watkins goes in again. And it's a very similar goal to his first. A brilliant header from Watkins. Who knew he was so good in the air? And that is his 6th goal on match day 7 of the Premier League season. But again, just a dinked ball into the middle. Our defenders don't deal with it. And it's a wonderful header again from Ollie Watkins, who doubles Villa's lead and probably now secures the points for the home side. Well, there's the whistle. It's all over here at Villa Park. Villa were just the dominant side today. We didn't really create anything of note. And those 2 goals from Ollie Watkins secure the win for Emery's side. I'm going to write that off as a game that I don't really expect to get anything out of away from home against a top side. So we'll get back to the menus, and after 3 defeats in a row on the field, I'm hoping for some positive news off the field with our Youth Academy update. But from England, we've still got some really decent looking players here, but nobody I'm going to give a scholarship to just yet. I think the best of these is Harrison Draper, but I'm going to give it 1 more month for both he and Ronnie Dyson, the Hoover. From Ireland, we've not really had as much luck, but I am going to give a scholarship to Kyle Buckley, who just looks pretty solid, to be fair, 15 years of age. We've also got Connor O'Connor, who I love the name. I'm keeping him there. I mean, he's got good potential, but the name alone is worthy of a scholarship. I'm going to keep the scouting on him for now, but we'll see how he looks after another month. From Scotland, I'm going to say goodbye to Duncan G, who was in the first academy update. But as for the rest of these guys, again, they all look pretty decent. Kirk Hardy's got the best potential range, but I'm going to keep the scouting on all 5 for now until we get a better picture of their potentials. So just the 2 lads in the academy, that's Billy Jordan and Kyle Buckley, who we've just given a scholarship to. Both pretty young, so they've still got a long way until they've reached their potential. But we'll jump straight into our next game. It is a huge one as we take on Leeds United, as we've slipped into the bottom 3 for the first time since, I think, match day 1 of the season. So this is a big one against Leeds United, a fellow newly promoted side, and these are the games that we simply have to win if we are going to stay up this season. So massive clash against Farke's side. Come on, you Clarets. Yeah, we obviously have faced Leeds once already this season, which came away from home at Ellen Road in the Cup, and as Walker's sent away, is he onside? Can he pick out Lyle Foster in the middle? What a save! What a save to deny him. And still, neither of these sides can find a way through the other. Still deadlocked at 0-0, but that really should have been the opening goal. Jaden Anthony has it. Rudoni back to the Englishman, Jaden Anthony. He's got Bogle for company. Rudoni finds Florentino, who strikes one from range, but it's going to have to be a good strike to beat the big 6'7" goalkeeper Lucas Perry from there. But we're getting closer. Dada dispossessed, and now Edwards can bring it forward. Can he get away from Anton Stack here down the right hand side? Might need some support. He's got Walker on the overlap, and Carl Walker in behind that Leeds defence. It's Rudoni, and he was off balance. And the man on his back just put him off. But again, that's better from Burnley getting into forward areas. We've had the 3 biggest chances of the half. We just haven't been able to find the breakthrough yet. Well, it looks as if these 2 are going to be set for another goalless draw after the 0-0 at Ellen Road in the League Cup. We had the better of the first half, But in that second, we just couldn't create anything. We pushed and probed, but it was a really poor second half, and Leeds didn't really cause us any issues either. But on the road, they'll probably take the point, whereas for us, that is now 4 games without victory, and we are starting to slowly slip down the table. But we're going to jump into our next game straight away. It's another big one, this time on the road, as we travel to Wolves, who heading into this game were winless and bottom of the Premier League table. So another great chance to get back to winning ways after we did stop the losing streak with that 0-0 draw at Burnley. Come on, you Clarets. Yeah, our goal scoring challenges are really coming to fruition at the moment as they're backing off Rudoni here, and Larsson finds Rudoni again. That's not far away, and I think it's what, 4-5 games now where we failed to find the back of the net, and I've brought in Brun Larsson and Amdouni today just to change things up. And it was Jack Rudoni who scored the winner at Old Trafford, who went close there to giving us the lead. But that's a much more promising start from Burnley. Cullen collects the ball short from Dubravka. Now Bayer can find Kyle Walker, and Wolves, like us, are playing really deep, so there might be some space to exploit. As Rudoni does well, finds Brun Larsson. Amdouni in the middle. Amdouni! Oh, what a stop by Herrera. And like in the previous game with Lyle Foster, we have missed an absolutely glorious opportunity. Given Amdouni the nod today, and he actually did really well to get goal side, but then couldn't finish the chance off. Herrera goes long to Manetzi, but Florentino's going to pick up the loose ball. And now Brun Larsson finds Amdouni. Round the corner for Rudoni, and forward to Edwards, who gets there. Krejci's with him. And now it's Florentino on the edge, and Herrera tips it over the top of his goal as we've been much better in this opening half. Cullen's corner into Kyle Walker, and again it's Herrera making the stop. Well, we've done everything right in that first half, similarly to the game against Leeds at Turf Moor. We just haven't been able to finish a chance off and give ourselves the lead, and I feel if we get in front we'll be able to hold on to it, because we've actually done okay defensively in recent weeks, but we just cannot find that goal. And at the moment Wolves are not offering anything going the other way, as Rudoni finds Zeki, and there's Edwards, and Edwards, Rudoni! Finally, Burnley have a goal after hours and hours and hours have passed. It's Jack Rudoni who scored the winning goal at Old Trafford, who opens the scoring at Molineux, and finally, Burnley are leading a Premier League game of football. Well, there is the whistle, and finally it goes, and we do return to winning ways in the Premier League. Just our second win of the season, both of which have come on the road. First at Old Trafford, and now here in a massive relegation 6-pointer against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Jack Rudoni's goal in the second half means that we will leave Molineux with all 3 points, and what a result for Burnley. We'll jump straight into our next game again because it comes in midweek. It is the 4th round of the Carabao Cup, where I'm expecting we're probably going to lose once again as we host Manchester City. But after winning away at Molineux, can we potentially cause a cup set and make it through to the quarter-finals of the EFL Cup? Come on, you Clarets. Well, 20 to play, and we frustrated City today. But as Reinders finds Bernardo Silva, we've gone really deep, and there's Erling Haaland on the spin to give Manchester City the lead. He scored the winning goal at the Etihad in the league fixture, and as well as we've defended today, with 15 to play, it looks as if City have won it. Reinders, oh, what a ball into Haaland. What a ball. And it's game. Erling Haaland has 2, and it's game over. Manchester City heading into the quarterfinals, and our cup journey is coming to an end. Well, no surprises at that loss there, but our next game is not much easier as we take on Arsenal with 2 points clear of the relegation zone at the moment. I want to see who it would have been? It would have been Forest away in the quarterfinals, and you'd expect City, Liverpool and Chelsea are the favourites to go all the way in the League Cup. But we do have a little bit of news. Martin Dubravka has handed in a transfer request. I didn't know about this, but apparently he wanted a new contract. Obviously, it is up at the end of the season, but he never came to me and said anything, and he's just handed in a transfer request. I can't remove him, so I'm going to keep him until the end of the season and let him leave on a free, but we're definitely going to need a new number one for next season. And we've also had our next batch of academy updates or scouting updates, so let's see what we've got from England, Ireland and Scotland. Yeah, and from England, guys, this is exactly why I scout for as long as possible. Ronnie Dyson, his potential has decreased slightly now, maxing out at 88. Harrison Draper still looks pretty good, and Steve Barker, I think he's a new lad in the scouting update, but we'll keep the scouting on all of these guys for a little bit longer. There's no one jumping out at me that looks like an absolute superstar. And from the Republic of Ireland, we've got a few players that we'll keep the scouting on, but I think I'm going to give an academy deal to Connor O'Connor. Not only do I love the name, but he looks pretty decent and he's got some good potential as well. And as for our Scottish goalkeepers, Logan Archibald and John Duff both looking pretty decent. But I actually think at 14, Kirk Hardy might be the best of the bunch. 82 to 94 potential. The problem is he's so young. He's got such a long way to go until we can even get him into the first team. But I am going to give him an academy scholarship. So we've now got a goalkeeper in the academy as well. And as for the academy, we can see the 4 young lads here. Again, I think Connor O'Connor actually looks the best of the players in the academy. He is the oldest as well, so he's obviously slightly more developed than the other 3, but I also like the look of Kirk Hardy in between the sticks. I just think, as I say, he's got a long way to go until he will make it into the first team. But that will do it for the Youth Academy updates for November, so we will jump straight into our next game. It is the Gunners at home at Turf Moor. Again, one of the games that I look at and I don't expect to get anything from. So either a point or miraculously 3 from this game will be a fantastic result. Come on, you Clarets. Dubravka goes long to Foster, and Chuana can bring it forward and finds Lyle Foster, and Foster finds Anthony. Maybe one final chance here. Jaden Anthony cuts infield and shoots straight at David Raya, but that was probably about the best chance of the game. And I have to say, guys, I think playing on the authentic gameplay sliders, I think it suits a sort of longer half length, 4, 5, maybe 6 minutes, which isn't really what I'm going for in this save. I want it to be fast paced and fluid, and I want to get through our seasons quickly. So I'm still not sure on the authentic gameplay sliders, but to me it feels like the AI just kind of keep the ball, knock it about, and never actually play forward and look to score goals. It's a credible 0-0 draw against Arsenal, but they never really threatened us. Alright guys, well we've now played 10 games in the league, and yeah, that's my honest thoughts on the authentic gameplay so far. Is we've only lost 4 of those games, to be fair, drawn 4, and yes, we've only won 2, but I think that is more down to the fact that I'm struggling to get on the attack and score. But defensively, we've been pretty good, just 8 goals conceded in our opening 10 games. And I do feel like this is quite a regular occurrence when a new FC game comes out, that I can defend pretty well, but I just struggle to score. But we've got a much more winnable fixture up next as we take on West Ham, who they themselves are sat in the relegation zone in 19th place with just 1 win on the board. 3 points behind us, so a win here could see them draw level on points with us on 10. But it's pretty tight down at the bottom, and we definitely, I would consider, going to be in a relegation scrap this season. So a big game against West Ham away at the London Stadium. Come on, you Claros. Oh, the camera angle feels slightly weird here at the London Stadium. I've changed it to the settings that I'd normally use, as that's into Rudoni, who has space to hit one. And our top scorer in the league this season with a measly 2 went close to making it 3 there in the opening few moments. Well, that's much better from Burnley. Cullen, nice ball into Rudoni, takes Lucas Paquetá out of the game. And Rudoni has Jaden Anthony out wide. Lovely football. And Jaden Anthony is in. Can he finish? Not quite, as it's a good save. Corner for the host here. Swung in. It's loose. And Dubravka does do well to claim. And will look to try and get us on the move quickly here. Rudoni finds Amdouni. And he's got Jaden Anthony with him. And the Englishman again down this left channel. Can he get it back to Zeki Amdouni? Can he finish? You bet he can. It's a wonderful strike. And Zeki Amdouni, given the nod today, gets his first Premier League goal of the season. And it comes away from home where, again, we have been much better on the road than we have on home soil. Lovely ball through by Anthony. And Zeki's strike is past Hermansen in a flash. Paqueta with Connor Roberts for company. Swings the ball in. Jared Bowen with the header, and we know he's good in the air. And that is a big stop from Martin Dubravka, who we saw earlier on in the episode handing in a transfer request. Still keeping his spot in the team as that's loose, and Dubravka again with the save. Looks as if he has just rescued the 3 points for Burnley, as that is going to do it. A late flurry from West Ham, but it is not enough, as Zeki Amdouni's goal means it is 3 games in the Premier League without loss and 2 wins in that run as well, with a credible point at home to Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. A much better run from Burnley after I think we had lost 4 in a row at the beginning of the episode, or heading into the episode. So picking up our form, and that is a big win on the road. Returning back home in our next game, things get a lot tougher though, as we take on Enzo Maresca's Chelsea, who are high flying at the top of the table in the save. What I will say though is what I've been saying all episode. I feel pretty confident of keeping them quiet and potentially nicking something on the break. So I'd take a point, but I'm fancying our first scalp of the season here. Come on, you Clarets. And here's the game plan working in full effect. Trying to get on the counter as Edwards. Oh, that's a pen. That's a pen all day long. And Levi Colwill, who's injured in real life, of course, stuck out a leg. I'm pretty confident it was in the penalty area. Yes, it was. And that is going to be a spot kick every day of the week. The question is, who takes it? Zeki Amdouni's taken the ball. I do normally fancy my centre forward, and he's got good power and decent penalties, so I will let Amdouni have it. And it's Zeki Amdouni, and he's denied by Philip Jorgensen. Well, it's been a good start from Burnley. We've been on the front foot, and you could argue we should be in front after that penalty. But Amdouni was denied, as Rudoni is going to let fly from distance. And again, it's Philip Jorgensen, who in the save is getting the nod over Robert Sanchez. Hartman's ball in is dangerous. Walker coming in at the near post. Just heads over the top. Neto down the right looks to stretch his legs and does well to hold off Jaden Anthony. Swings across in for João Pedro. That's a wonderful header and a phenomenal save, and it's still not clear. And Torreira's strike is saved, and João Pedro eventually will get his goal, as I think he's still the Premier League's top scorer in the save. Gets Chelsea off and underway at Turf Moor. 7th goal of the season. It's a bit scrappy, but Chelsea won't care. Rudoni into the skipper Cullen, overruns it and then flies into Moises Caicedo. Isco now finds Torreira. Tyreek George to Caicedo, and Isco, big save, and João Pedro on hand to double Chelsea's lead. I think that is going to do it. I don't see us scoring 2 with just over 20 minutes to play. And João Pedro, well, it's a sign of a good centre forward getting into the areas where the ball is going to drop. His 8th goal of the season, and that will be the points wrapped up for the Blues. Oh, terrible giveaway from Burnley. That's gone really lacklustre, and as João Pedro spins away, he wants that hat-trick, and he's going to get it as well. Really poor from Burnley. Our biggest loss of the save so far, and it comes at the hands of Enzo Maresca's Chelsea, and specifically João Pedro, who has got a hat-trick on me today. You could argue that all three were a little bit fortunate in the way that they ricocheted back to him, but I'd argue that that's the sign of a good centre-forward getting into goal-scoring positions, and it is going to be Chelsea who pick up all 3 points. Alright guys, as we get back to the menu, it looks as if we're going to have our first unexpected event here. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but Carefree Improvements. The board offers 100% carryover for any remaining budget into next season. As a manager, you can choose to hold back on spending now, allowing for a substantial investment next year to significantly enhance the squad. The choice is in your hands. Well, there we go. That's it. We didn't have a choice of anything. That's just, it is what it is. So, I mean, in the budget at the moment, we've got 18 million. We are approaching January pretty soon, but it's unlikely that I'm going to spend all of that money. So it is nice to know we'll have some money being transferred over to next season. And after that loss to Chelsea, it's starting to get pretty tight in the bottom half of the table. We're just 3 points above Leeds United in the relegation zone. But we've got a favourable fixture up next against Brentford, who find themselves below us and just 2 places above the relegation zone at the moment. So definitely a chance to close out the episode with a positive result and pull ourselves clearer of the relegation zone. Come on, you Clarets. Gaia, nice ball into Carvalho. Around the corner to Omega. Nice football this. Florentino can't get there. And it's pegged into the middle. And I believe that is Reiss Nelson with the finish right at the end of the first half. His first in a Brentford shirt. And we just get caught sleeping a minute before the break. It's a brilliant move, and Florentino tried to anticipate the pass. I think it was Ouattara with the assist, just took his time and then eventually picked out Nelson. It just sits up nicely for him. It's past Martin Dubravka in a flash, and Burnley are behind once again. Hartman down the line to Anthony, who comes infield. Picks out a nice pass into Anduni, and Rudoni, I think he's onside. Rudoni gets us back on level terms, and our summer signing, our only summer signing that we brought in, is our top scorer this season in all competitions. All 3 coming in the Premier League, and he gets us back on level terms here at the G-Tech. Well, we've been on top since that equaliser, and we're now looking to get ourselves in front. Cullen's ball in, looking for Walker, and it just misses him, as that will go long, but Omega does well. And Ouattara looks for Omega again. And the big man finds Damsgaard. And Damsgaard racing through. Omega is offside as Brentford thought they'd got themselves in front. And the new man at Chelsea joining the club next year. In the save, he's gone to Brentford. And he's just gone a fraction early. I mean, that really is a fraction. As he goes beyond Maxime Esteve and finished past Dubravka, but we are saved by the linesman's flag. Reiss Nelson, the Brentford goal scorer, finds Vitaly Janelt. And now Omega to Damsgaard. Oh, it's nicely worked. Omega offloads. Ouattara, it's off the woodwork as Brentford pushing to try and win this game, whilst Burnley clinging on as Nelson finds Henderson. And Ouattara again, and Janelt strike off the post. And it's a crazy sequence of events as Brentford hit the woodwork twice in a matter of moments. And now we look to go down the other end and try and win it ourselves. Are we going to be allowed time? I think we will, as Hartman finds Jaden Anthony. And Hartman! It's a low blow into the bottom corner, and Brentford cannot believe it as there's late drama at the G-Tech, and the Dutchman Hartman wins it for Burnley, and it's our 4th win of the season, all coming on the road. And from down one end, Brentford hit the post twice, and Hartman, I don't think he connected with it cleanly, but it sort of dribbles in off the upright. and into the back of Kelleher's net, and what a victory for Burnley on the road. Oh my goodness, guys, what a game to close out with. That was dramatic and then some. Brentford hitting the post twice, and then we go down the other end and win it. Also, with it clipping the upright as well. A crazy, crazy way to close out today's episode, but that is where we're going to end it. We've had plenty of games, and we have made it through to the busy December Christmas period of the season. So in the next episode, we will make our way through to the January transfer window, potentially bring in 1 or 2 signings as well, but I don't really want to change the squad too much in this first season. But as I say, guys, a crazy way to close out as we move away from the relegation zone and look to keep ourselves in the top flight this season. I hope you have enjoyed, guys. Take care, and I'll catch you for the next episode very soon. Peace.